Hello and welcome everyone, Rufus Shinra here. I hope you're doing great. So today's video will be about me forging all of my lethal gear. Stay tuned. So first of all, let's talk about the set we're crafting today. This is the lethal set that you can get by farming materials from the Dark Fae boss. Astronex the Dark Fae would be the exact name. It's basically an upgrade over Savage. It gives you plus 10% crit rate and the possibility to ignore 25% of your enemy's defense. It's a 4-piece set, so basically the same as Savage plus an added bonus of 10% crit rate. And we all know that sometimes when you're building a good nuker, it's very hard to get that extra few points to crit cap them, meaning to take them to 100% crit rate. So this set comes as a boon and a solution to anyone suffering from that problem, and potentially could allow for some improvements on Savage builds, provided you get the right stats on this set. Okay, so basically no nonsense video. I will not show you the whole crafting process. I will of course be using RSL Helper to make it much easier for me. So I had a little bit more before I did this video, but I decided to craft a few before just to complete one of the progress missions for Amantu. But I'm still left with a decent amount. So we have 517 epic stones of whatever this material is called, and about 300 legendary pieces. Those were all farmed during the first rotation of the Dark Fae Doom Tower, most of them on stage 120, because I started with hard. I reached 120 I think on the 12th day, and I farmed Fae ever since, as much as I could, at least the 10 or 15 keys a day that we could use on that stage. So if you want to know which team I've been using, actually it's the team that I made a showcase about. I improved it a little bit since. I might do a highlight if the tower comes back around again. You can find the link somewhere up here. I will link that video. And yeah, that's it. So basically I will just go crafting these pieces. Once all are crafted, I'll meet you back to sip through them, see what we can keep and what we can't keep. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to use rank charms and rarity charms. Nothing in these two slots. I want to maximize the RNG as much as possible, see how lucky we can get with these. I will leave maybe 20 items towards the end, and I will use crit damage charm on those so that I could get basically crit damage substats on my weapons. But for the majority, for about 40 or so, I'm not going to use anything, just leaving it to pure chance, see how lucky I can get with those. I don't recommend that you do the same thing. Basically, you should target exactly what you need. So if you're lacking attack chests, for instance, or attack boosts, you should definitely choose the appropriate charms to do those. But this is just the way I want to do it. I enjoy looking at the random loot and being surprised with some good pieces. So with all that said, I'll leave you with a quick time lapse of the forging process, and I'll meet you back in the end with the pieces that I would have elected to keep. Hopefully there will be many, and we'll see how they're all. Cheers. Okay, so I decided to leave these pieces. I can already see people in the comment talking about how I left attack percentage gloves, but hey, it rolled triple speed.
Such a noob.
I don't know where I'm gonna use that. Maybe on a raglet that could scale off of them for her heals. Maybe for bomb champions, but bombs already ignore defense, so I don't know. I'm just keeping this piece because it rolled triple speed. So most of the other pieces, there was nothing godly in those. There's this piece here that's pretty good. So for the gauntlets, I have a crit damage piece with double roll on speed and an additional roll on crit rate. Attack substats, but the off defense stat, if it was crit damage, this piece would have been mwah, but it's almost there. The other gauntlet, it's crit damage main, but the substats are nothing really good to look at, so I just kept it here as a placeholder until maybe I get better gear. This one didn't turn out too bad, so double roll on crit damage, one roll on speed, and the other two stats are basically, I wouldn't say useless, but of not much use, so there I have a pretty decent chest. This one also, it rolled triple speed. I wish it had rolled quad speed, but I kept it again. Accuracy chest on this set does not make much sense, but in a mixed set or maybe in another combination, or maybe I could find some niche use for it, it could still be used. This one I didn't even bother rolling. It's an HP chest, could be used on one of my HP nukas, namely Magna, because he's basically the best HP nuka I have at this moment. But again, these substats don't make it too sexy. Same thing here, could be used as an off piece or maybe to boost player power, not that I'm doing it right now, but if I choose to do it at any point, this could be useful. The boots, I got this oof piece. Still, if you need high HP and resistance, because this is a theme across many Doom Tower bosses, this could come in handy someday, so I'm keeping it. This other one, this is a more balanced, typical nuka piece, although it lacks some speed, it would lack some crit rate, but still the double roll crit damage plus the HP main stat makes it worthwhile. Another attack, this is more typical for attack-oriented nukas, attack main stat, double roll on attack on the substat plus some speed. All it would need is some crit rate here or crit damage and it would make it great. This one has lots of resistance, some crit rate and some crit damage, still usable. Again, none of these pieces are god tier or anything, but well, they're worth keeping, at least temporarily, until I find a use for them. Attack, and let's see if this one rolls attack just for the memes. Hopefully it will double roll attack. Yeah, I can see the resistance coming. Come on! Alright. Nothing to see here, moving on. Attack, speed, and defense, same logic. Tons of resistance, double rolls, that's the theme of the day. Resistance again here, no roll on speed. Flats, this one is pretty terrible. I must admit, these last few ones here have been pretty terrible, but I'm trying to keep as many minimum viable pieces, because again, we need at least 4 pieces to make the set. So even if these pieces are not up to par or are not great, the set in itself, combined with some other pieces from Cruel or from offsets, could make for some pretty good builds. So as a conclusion, how many usable pieces did we get, or how many usable sets? I would say at most 1. With this piece, pretty decent. With this chest, for an attack nuka. These gauntlets, and the rest I'm still hesitant because both the boot pieces and the shields and the helmets are not really good, so I will have to keep rolling them, maybe glyph them and see which ones I will be using. But all in all, not a terrible experience. I would say in conclusion that farming Astronex is definitely worth it. Of course, this was a no-brainer ever since we saw the bonus from her set, but now that I actually did it, I actually did the experience, I can speak from place of fact. If you are a whale who dines on billions and billions of energy dumped in finite looking for savage gear, I would strongly recommend to incorporate Astronex in your diet if you haven't already, because yeah, as much as farming savage over and over and over again from finite will definitely net you some good pieces on the long run, but Astronex is a much safer way to target specific pieces you need. If you are looking for boots specifically with a certain main stat, or for chests, etc., it's much easier to do it knowing that you are going to get the pieces to craft it, and knowing how those pieces are going to turn out to a certain extent using the charms at the forge. Alright, so that concludes it. I hope you have a great day. This has been Rufus Shinra, and I'll see you in my next video.